Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on NTA News 24, live from Abuja. I am Stella Inameti. The headlines. President Tinubu highlights Nigeria's ongoing reforms as Africa's CEO Forum 2026 kicks off in Kigali, Rwanda. NCC notes recent public concerns regarding quality of telecommunications services, says industry efforts to address quality of service challenges are on course. Plus, NACON airlifts over 25,000 Nigeria pilgrims as almost 20 states complete airlift in more than 860 flights. Thanks for joining us. The Africa CEO Forum 2026 has kicked off in Kigali, Rwanda. President Tinubu is one of the leaders attending the annual Forum of Private Community with the theme Scale or Fail. This year's Africa CEO Forum is projected to be the largest gathering of African private sector leaders, investors and policymakers, focusing on accelerating economic transformation through shared scale, regional integration and increased cross-border investment. The Nigerian president is expected to deliver statements highlighting his administration's ongoing reforms to reposition the nation as a prime destination for investment and growth. Nigerian Presidential Advisor on Media and Public Communications, Sunday Dari, highlights Nigeria's participation at the forum.
I think the Africa CEO Forum has earned for itself a reputation. Right now, the most consequential business and economic conversation is taking place and will take place right here. And I think that the best person to lead our delegation and also be here is Nigeria's president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who has become the reformer-in-chief. President Tinubu will be making in the next 2 days, 48 hours, the strongest pitch of his presidency. He stands on solid ground. 3 years hence, we have seen the president command respect, command global attention because of the structural reforms of our economy and the attempt to expand the productive base of our economy. I think the most important message, which of course is often repeated, is that Nigeria has been structurally reformed. We have economic stability, which is key. The volatility we see in the forest sector and other sectors are gone. Necessary economic infrastructure are being put in place. There is a physical foundation reinforced by physical discipline, and that's what investors look for. There's a friendly environment. Like they say, Nigeria is ready for business.
And back here in Abuja, the Nigerian Communications Commission says efforts to improve telecommunication services across the country are beginning to yield results amid public concerns over dropped calls, slow internet and unstable data services. A statement by the Commission's Head of Public Affairs, Nena Ukoha, says the NCC has strengthened monitoring of telecom operations and other service providers to ensure better service delivery. The Commission hinted that mobile network operators invested over 2 trillion naira in 2025, while tower companies committed more than 300 billion naira to network expansion and upgrades of over 2,800 telecom sites nationwide. NCC also disclosed that over 700 additional 5G sites have been deployed across 27 states this year to improve network coverage and internet speeds, while it identified fiber cuts, vandalism, theft, and power challenges as major factors affecting service delivery. The agency notes that over 27,000 fiber cut incidents were recorded in 2025 as enforcement of the updated quality of service regulations has commenced, including sanctions against operators that fail to meet required standards. Ahead of the forthcoming governorship election in Ekiti State, a new pre-election survey has revealed growing voter interest and confidence in the electoral process. The survey, conducted by Pairing Advocacy and Advancement Center in Africa, indicates that a majority of residents are willing to participate in the election and believe the electoral body can deliver a credible poll. Joseph Otsen reports.
On June 20th, 2026, the people of Ekiti State will once again head to the polls to elect a new governor. As the countdown to the election continues, political tension and public expectations are becoming more evident across the state, a reality captured in a recent pre-election survey conducted across the 3 senatorial districts by Pairing Advocacy and Advancement Center in Africa.
62% believe the electoral body is prepared and 54% trust electronic transmission of results. But beneath this optimism lies a more cautious reality. Awareness of key electoral reforms, particularly around transmission, remains uneven.
Despite the optimism, security remains a major concern among residents. While 70% of respondents described security as top priority ahead of the election, 57% fear the possibility of election-related violence. The survey also shows increasing voter resistance to electoral malpractice, especially vote buying, with many respondents indicating readiness to reject and report such acts.
What this means is clear. Security is not just a governance issue, it is an electoral issue. If people feel unsafe, participation suffers, and indeed democracy is weakened.
This pre-election survey further demonstrated that many voters in Ekiti State are likely to base their decisions on issues of governance, protection of rights, and overall development of the state. In Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
Leading researchers and innovation managers from across Africa have underscored the need for strict compliance with research standards to ensure the production of quality research that meets global benchmarks. This was at the 17th Annual Conference of the West African Research and Innovation Management Association held in Abuja. Ekene Ndulwe reports.
Over 200 delegates from research institutes across Africa are participating in this year's conference of the West African Research and Innovation Management Association, WARIMA, which also marks the association's 20th anniversary. Top on the agenda are discussions on strengthening Africa's global competitiveness in research, improving funding opportunities, enhancing collaboration, and protecting intellectual property rights. WARIMA says adherence to global standards and compliance requirements in research and innovation will go a long way in addressing many of the challenges confronting researchers across the continent.
And so in research, you want to get a research grant, you must comply with the conditions laid out in the calls. Who can participate in the research, what can they do, what is the nature of the objectives. If you don't comply, your proposal will not even be touched.
So researchers who are with us have to seek funding from outside of our own environment, and understanding how those funding bodies function, what their areas of interest are, and what are their requirements is a necessary input for institutions to be able to support their scientists to be able to get grant funding.
Experts at the conference stressed the critical role of research in improving the quality of life of citizens, urging researchers to focus on innovative studies with practical and lasting impact.
Your work has to have transparency, must be reproducible in any part of the world, has to be credible, and has to be useful.
With a strong intellectual property system, humans are incentivized to innovate, to create more. They can invest more resources they can spend more time and energy coming up with new solutions and making the world move forward.
Stakeholders at the event also advocated stronger collaboration among African countries and institutions as a way of advancing research, innovation, and sustainable development across the continent. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulue, NTA News.
The Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation says it has neither approved nor formally conveyed the approval of a 40% peculiar allowance for federal civil servants to the Joint National Public Service Negotiating Council or any labor union. It explained that the statutory responsibility for the issuance and communication of such circulars rests solely with the National Salaries, Incomes and Wages Commission. The circular in reference was issued by the NSIWC on the 23rd of April 2026, I beg your pardon. In a statement signed by the Director, Press and Public Relations and Oloti, Office of the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation stated that the meeting convened by the Head of the Civil Service of the Federation on Tuesday, 12th May 2026, was strictly an interventionist and conciliatory engagement aimed at facilitating dialogue between organized labor under its jurisdiction and the NSIWC in order to promote mutual understanding and avert any breakdown in labor relations within the Federal Civil Service. The Liberian Embassy in Nigeria has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening people-to-people diplomacy and regional cooperation through the health and wellness partnerships. During a courtesy visit to the Embassy of Health and Wellness in Abuja, Liberia's ambassador to Nigeria emphasized that beyond traditional diplomacy, cultural exchange and citizen engagement remain key priorities of Liberia's mission in Nigeria. Thomas Ogbetere reports.
Liberia and Nigeria are set to deepen bilateral cooperation in peace building, investment and health promotion. The ambassador expressed Liberia's enduring gratitude to Nigeria for its historic role in restoring peace during Liberia's years of crisis. Noting that Nigeria continues to hold a special place in Liberia's development agenda, he encouraged Nigerian investors to take advantage of the peaceful environment and numerous business opportunities currently available in Liberia.
Had it not been for Nigeria pulling the ropes and putting ECOMOG together and coming there when we were at our lowest level, I don't know what would have become of Liberia. So let me publicly acknowledge my appreciation to Nigeria.
Health and wellness also took center stage at the meeting, with the Liberian envoy urging Africans to pay greater attention to preventive health care and healthy living.
It's imperative that we think outside the box and bring health education and practical knowledge to the people where they are in a natural habitat.
In response, the Chief Mission Director of the Embassy of Health and Wellness, Dr. Chimele Eze, highlighted plans to collaborate with Liberia in promoting natural health solutions and wellness initiatives across the region.
Different countries have been calling, but we say to ourselves, we're going to start with that man who has come with purpose, whose mission and vision would always align with ours, the Embassy of Health and Wellness, the reason we chose Liberia.
There's much to eat in Nigeria. There's much to showcase in terms of healthy eating and then the menus you have here in Nigeria.
To create that awareness that this is healthy to you. This is the lifestyle you can live that will be beneficial to you.
The meeting is expected to open doors for joint healthcare awareness campaigns, technical exchanges, and community outreach programs aimed at improving the well-being of citizens in both Nigeria and Liberia. In Abuja, Thomas Ogbetere, NTA News.
You're watching the news at 10 on NTA News 24. We'll be back with more reports after the break. Stay with us.
The power of precision, engineered to perfection. Every component is crafted with care, and each design is meticulously tested. From concept to creation, our engineers push the boundaries of technology, seamlessly blend in performance and sustainability with a deep commitment to African ingenuity. Introducing the CNG Boss, a remarkable achievement in engineering designed to operate on compressed natural gas, a cleaner and more sustainable fuel alternative. At Innocent Vehicles, we proudly lead the way in creating greener mobility across Africa. And it doesn't stop there. From SUVs to sedans, spacious buses to electric cars, Innocent offers a wide range of models designed to meet every need. Innocent Vehicle, the pride of African roads.
This is NTA News 24.
Thanks for staying with us. The Nigerian Institute of Petroleum and Gas Engineers has formally inducted Priska Kanebi as its new president, marking a significant milestone for the professional body and the energy sector. The induction ceremony held at the Petroleum Development Trust Fund in Abuja brought together key stakeholders from the oil and gas industry. Lydia Sampson reports.
The ceremony featured a keynote lecture titled Emerging Global Energy Dynamics on the strategic imperatives of increased oil and gas production in Nigeria. Government representatives and engineering professionals at the investiture applauded the new president, expressing optimism for game-changing leadership.
The global energy landscape is undergoing one of the most significant transformations in modern history. Geopolitical tensions, climate change concerns, technological disruption, energy transition policy, supply chain realignment.
The complexity of the modern energy industry means that no institution can operate in isolation. Strategic collaboration among professional bodies, universities, regulators, financial institutions, technology firms, international partners, and government agencies will be indispensable.
After the investiture of the president, executive members and board members, Kanebi pledged to strengthen professional standards, promote innovation and advance capacity development within Nigeria's petroleum engineering space.
The whole idea is to see how it can be more impactful in the society and to work with all the regulators in the industry to have a more efficient oil and gas sector.
She emphasized the need for sustainable practices and local content development as the industry continues navigating global energy transition challenges. Kanebi also called for increased collaboration between policymakers and industry players to boost efficiency and attract investment. Her emergence as president is widely seen as a progressive step reflecting growing inclusivity and leadership diversity in the oil and gas sector. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
And as part of efforts to expose students to practical learning and career opportunities in the media industry, pupils of Hibiscus Academy embarked on an educational excursion to NTA News 24. The visit offered the students first-hand experience of television broadcasting, news production, and studio operations. Alika Okpanachiarua reports.
With excitement written on their faces, the students of Hibiscus Academy arrived at the headquarters of NTA, ready to explore the world of broadcast journalism. The educational tour took the students through various departments, including the newsroom, the master control room, the studio, and editing unit, where they were introduced to the process of news production from reporting to transmission. During the interactive session, professionals at the station explained how news stories are sourced, verified, produced, and presented to the public.
My visit to NTA was fine. It was my first time coming to NTA, and I learned that NTA is National Television Authority, and they broadcast news all around the world.
The control room.
Why?
Because it has many devices, like the Operation 1 and 2. And it shows things on the screen, it shows everything around the world.
I would like to report on sports news. because when I grow up, I want to be a footballer.
Excursion is part of the extracurricular activities that would help the children learn more about the society. So bringing the children down to NTA, national television, it helps broaden their imagination of what we've been teaching them in the classroom.
Most of them have televisions in their houses and they don't know how these things are being done. So we brought them to actually see how these productions are being done, the machines that are used. So when they are at home, they will actually appreciate the effort of those people that are putting these things together.
For many of the students, the visit provided both knowledge and inspiration about the world of television broadcasting. In Abuja, Alika Okpanachi, Arua, NTA News.
Thank you, students of Hibiscus Academy, for the responses. The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, is steadily progressing with the airlift of over 25,000 Nigerian pilgrims in more than 60 flights ahead of this year's Hajj, as almost 20 states have completed airlift of their respective pilgrims. Tokbe Alabi tells us more.
It's been 12 days since Nigeria commenced airlift of pilgrims to Saudi Arabia for the 2026 Hajj in a steady operation coordinated by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NAHCON, in collaboration with the state pilgrims welfare boards through multiple airlines, including Flynas, Umza, Max Air, and Air Peace. At the moment, 17 states consisting of Adamawa, Bauchi, Benue, Ekiti, FCT Abuja, and Gombe, as well as Jigawa, Kogi, Kwara, Lagos, Nasarawa, Ogun, Ondo, Osun, Oyo, Plateau, and Taraba have completed airlift of their pilgrims, with more states, including Kaduna, Kano, Edo, Zamfara, among others, expected to begin their airlifts in the coming days as NAHCON targets completion before the deadline set for the last flight to come into Saudi Arabia ahead of the Hajj rites. Flight schedules completion so far reflect Max Air stood at 63%, with Flynas 60% and Umza 70%, while Air Peace has made 53% of its flight schedule. Flynas flight XY 8514 Wednesday evening departed Abuja via Lagos with 146 pilgrims and 175 officials, comprising 145 Lagos and 1 Nasarawa pilgrims, as Umza flight UY 3525 departed Sokoto to Medina same evening with 482 pilgrims from Sokoto and Bauchi, while Air Peace flight APK 7924 departed Maiduguri to Medina Thursday morning with 315 Yobe pilgrims and 2 officials. At the time of this report, 25,217 Nigerian pilgrims have been airlifted to Saudi Arabia in 62 flights, while private tour operators have begun airlift of Nigerian pilgrims. In Abuja, Tokbe Alabi, NTA News.
The Minister of Defense, Christopher Musa, has reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to modernizing the armed forces through strategic partnerships, local capacity development, technology transfer, and sustainable defense industrial cooperation. The minister stated this while on a working visit to Monaco, Italy. During the engagement, he emphasized the importance of building indigenous operational capacity while leveraging international expertise to address emerging security threats. The sessions also covered the proposed establishment of national and regional command centers, mobile response units, and a center of excellence for simulation, training, and doctrine development. The working visit forms part of Nigeria's broader defense diplomacy and strategic engagement initiatives aimed at promoting regional stability and national resilience in an evolving global security environment. The operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arrested the Director General of Energy Commission of Nigeria, Dr. Mustapha Abdullahi, for money laundering offenses to the tune of more than 500 billion naira. Sources within the commission say he was arrested in Abuja on Wednesday and is in the custody of the EFCC answering questions. And troops of the Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hardin Kai have rescued 6 kidnapped victims and arrested suspected terrorist collaborators. In a statement by the Media Information Officer Operation Hardin Kai, Lieutenant Colonel Sani Uba says troops acting on credible intelligence following an air interdiction mission around the Mandara Mountains successfully rescued the abducted women and children at suspected terrorist crossing point near Amuda on 12 May 2026. A 3-month-old rescued baby was among residents of Ngoshi community, abducted by Boko Haram/ISWAP terrorists during an attack on the community on 3rd March 2026. Similarly, troops have arrested 2 suspects in Damaturu, Yobe State, in connection to an earlier operation involving the interception of a suspected ammunition courier. He was apprehended while finalizing plans to supply ammunition to terrorists. And that concludes the news at 10 on NTA News 24. Thanks for watching. I am Stella Inameti.